Peace and prosperity. This is Asaya Mystic coming to you with another message to help you free your heart and soul. Right now, I am talking about what was unsaid in the Meghan and Harry interview with Oprah, with questionable Oprah. But yeah, there was a lot of things that went unsaid in that video, and I really felt so called to make a video on this. Some people might call me a clout chaser, all right, which doesn't make any sense, and because y'all are just some haters, okay? The only way that you can be a clout chaser is literally if you're literally stealing someone's work and trying to make it seem like it's your own. But I'm not stealing anyone's work. This is all genuine. This is all me, and this is all me giving my perspective on what's happening out here. Okay, in the esoteric realm, because a lot of people are so small-minded that they will take that interview and they won't see the big picture. And so I feel like I see the big picture, and I definitely have connected the dots and have been given some messages about what really was going down in that scenario. So that's what I want to talk about today. So let me just take a sip of my mushroom milk. That's what I like to call it. My quadricep milk. Yeah, I like to warm up milk. That's flaxseed milk, not dairy. But warm up my flaxseed milk or oat milk. Put my quadricep powder, reishi mushroom, lion's mane. Mix it up, add some manuka honey, and boom, homemade coffee. It's not really coffee because I don't do coffee. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. First of all, if you still haven't realized that the people who are head of these monarchies and these elite structures, like whether it be the elite in America, meaning like the government system, the political system, whether it be in the United Kingdom, the elite in the United Kingdom, basically the people who took over the world hundreds of years ago, murked everybody, came to everybody's country, murked everybody, took over their land, took over their kingdom, this happened all over the place. Like, it didn't just happen in America, it happened all over the world, okay? It happened to a lot of people, and just because you're white doesn't necessarily mean whatever, doesn't mean that it didn't happen to you too. Like, they took over everything, and they basically, when they took over everything, they basically made everybody get on their train. Like, you can't keep the same practices that you had, you can't keep the same traditions that you had, you can't keep those same structures going, basically. And depending upon how strong your spirituality was linked to your guides, the land, how strong your spirituality was in that given place, also will dictate whether or not you got to hold on to a bulk of those principles. Now, in Africa, in India, in different places around the world, obviously you just can't completely obliterate someone's connection to their source, right? You still hold on to a lot of those belief systems, those structures, okay? You still hold on to them, right? Like, the Vikings still held on to a lot of their belief systems, or I would say like the Nordic people, You have African spirituality, you have, Indian spirituality. You have all of these ancient principles that ultimately all tie together, and they all symbolically teach you to deal with life and the earth in a certain way. So most people um, who are into spirituality and use these different ancient spiritualities or indigenous spiritualities to get to the source. And I know you guys are probably like, what does this have to do with anything? I'm getting there. Normally, the people who hold on to these or who use these practices to get to the source, they become linked spiritually to truth. Okay? This is important. I know you guys are, some people are like, well, everybody has their own truth. Everybody has their own, personal truth. I'm not talking about that kind of truth. I'm talking about law. I'm talking about some things, it's not just your personal truth. Like, some things just is. They just are. And to deny that, is to think that your personal bias is somehow better and stronger than just the universal consciousness. And that's some narcissistic-ish. So we don't want to do that here. We want to honor and accept that these ancient traditions and spiritualities, before and previous to the whole entire world being colonized by one MFA, which is tied to what is the name of them people? I'm not gonna call them the UK, but it's whatever. It's run by Great Britain, okay? And it's like this society, okay? It's this society of people that are literally run by only these select groups within, is it the United Nations? I think it's the United Nations. Okay, United Nations basically is today, the people with the most power. This is why the British pound has the most weight in currency. Like, the British pound costs more than the US dollar. So if you have more British pound in if you can have the same amount of US dollar and British pound, but the British pound is going to be worth more because they're the ones, okay, who have a lot to do with everything and the way everything is right now, with the matrix, with the way that the systems are created, educational systems, just everything. It's literally has to do with the matrices and paradigms that have been implemented throughout this entire realm. So let's start there. Let's start by recognizing that these people and their bloodlines, okay, are tied, and they run back down to, thousands of years of being linked to what I like to call celestial outcasts, and also what other people associate with as the Anunnaki and reptilians. Basically, evil alien species who come into these bodies ruining shit. Right? On purpose. Because of their energy signatures and because of who they are. So let's start there, okay? Go drink some more of this mushroom milk. So now that you guys understand that this isn't just some monarchy in Britain that you know, their royal family, and, you know, oh, like a Cinderella story, and, you know, that ain't what it really is at all, okay? And their system and their rulership isn't based on truth. It is not based on an aligned frequency with the earth. It's not based on any of that. It's based on power. It's based on, and I won't even say power. It's based on jealousy. It's based on insecurity. It's based on every type of characteristic you will find in somebody who literally takes over other people's livelihoods and make them into shit. Like, people who come into countries and make you worse off than what you were before. People who come into countries and take over your water supply, take over your food supply, take over this, manipulate your brain, psychologically all of this stuff, okay? Y'all think everything's separate. It's not. It's all one little group of people, and they're included, and they have a lot to do with it. Okay, guys, so it's another day, new day. I'm continuing this video, and my daughter's in the background watching Baby Shark, and literally my cat is across the street wilding. Like, my cats be wilding. You guys will get to meet them soon, but yeah, I'm continuing the video of Meghan Markle and Harry and this royal escapade, and basically my perception on it. So, like I was saying, we know already, well, most of us hopefully know, if you don't know already, and if you are still under the guise of the Matrix, thinking that these systems are actually good systems, like that are here to help the people and built on that foundation, then, you know, you're in for a rude awakening. And now is the good time to finally accept that most of these systems, especially one under a monarchy that has been responsible for so much chaos and you know, slavery, genocide, you know, raping, pillaging, murdering, just weird stuff. And to see now, you know, the video that the interview that came out, and just her talking about, you know, racism and the color of her skin, and how they were having conversations about, you know, how dark their baby might be. She was right to feel like she came into it naively, because I think most people still feel like or believe that all of these things are just non-existent anymore. Like, oh, you know, things are different now. Of course, yes, things are different. We have evolved. However, when you're operating in a system that was built on these things, on literally on slavery, on genocide, on prejudice, you can't really expect much to be different. So overall, while I was watching the interview, during, like, I wouldn't even say I was 20 minutes through the interview, I got this message that came to me, and it was like they were trying to kill her like they killed Diana. And I was like, wait, what? That's crazy. But it makes so much sense, because as I finished and went through the whole interview, everything that they were saying was lining up with, you know, the same scenario that happened to Princess Diana. Now, before I even get into that, Princess Diana was... All right, before I even get into that, I got to get into the root of why this system is the way it is and why this system is so distorted, and why I would say that the matrix is so distorted and corrupt is essentially because it's being ruled by beings that are, I think I already mentioned this, reptilians, celestial outcasts, foreign beings that do not resonate with the natural frequency of this plane, of this realm, Earth. So, off bat, we're dealing with alien, weirdo people who have designated a specific gene, right? A specific gene of their own creation from, as I say, the primordial genes of this earth. And if I haven't spoken on that, I'll make sure to make a video about that. But in my mitochondrial DNA video, what is the Eve gene, I talk about how everyone comes from this primordial gene, the primordial waters. And this is a gene that they used to create their specific race of being, that literally you have to have a certain blood, like you have to have a certain bloodline or a certain gene in order for you to incarnate into these beings, into this lineage, right? That's a real thing. That's why, you know, race and bloodlines and all that, it's spiritual, right? Only certain people can come through certain genes, certain gene pools, and that's facts. So they have a certain bloodline that they make sure to keep pure, which is why they don't mix and intermingle with all kinds of people, which is also why they were saying that they were gonna cut off Meghan, because her genes and her bloodlines and where she originated from was more so along the lines of the same frequency that Diana came from. So it's very rare, but it happens. There are star seeds that come here with missions, right, to raise the frequency of the earth. And they can intercept into certain families, into certain pools of people, and be incarnated so that they can fulfill a certain role. And Princess Diana came through that family because she came through to fulfill a certain purpose that she didn't get to fulfill her purpose because they got rid of her. And the crazy thing is, when I was watching it, I was like, and it wasn't no random person that took her out. It was this same system that they having a whole interview about. It was the same people. Like, it wasn't family, because family is different. It was that system. It was that hierarchy. It was that monarchy that said, you know what? We see who she is and what she's come here to do, and she's got to go. And so that's exactly the same reason why Meghan was like, Meghan and Harry, I don't know which one said this or came out of your mouth, but they said that once Meghan, or it was Harry that was like, yeah, and once Meghan started to really engage with the people, when she went to Australia, when she really started to fulfill the role of, you know, being a part of the monarchy, and they saw that she was really good at it. Let's define what really good means. Really good at it. What do you mean she was really good at it? Like, what does that look like, her being really good at it? Because when he said she was really good at what she was doing, that's when everything started to change and they started acting all funny and weird, right? So he was like, and that's, you know, kind of weird, because why would you act funny with somebody who's obviously being the role that they're supposed to be playing, right? But the reality is they're not trying to go there. They're an image, right? They're a structure, they're a hierarchy, but they're not actually putting in that work. They're not actually doing what people of that stature and that level of like pedestal, like somebody on that kind of pedestal, they're not doing the type of work that somebody on that pedestal obviously should be doing or obviously could be doing. And Meghan was showing that she had the ability to be what Princess Diana was, right? She was engaging with the children. She was being a emblem of the divine feminine. And see, that's what they don't want. That's what they don't want, because what I keep telling y'all on this channel, not that much, I don't be all in your face about it, but I definitely am eminent about how the divine feminine is so important to the resurrection of people spiritually. And I just tied that to the serpent and the kundalini in my past video. So what happens when you have an emblem of that energy, of that divine feminine frequency, it given a position that has so much influence and so much power? You know how much could change, like, very quickly? You know what kind of disruption that would bring to their groundworks, to what they were originally intending to build and create in this realm. It would destroy it. And that's also why they started going into how they have a pact with the media. I talk about this in my program, Activating the Goddess Frequency, which was previously Activating Earth Feminine. But I talk about this in my program, and I break it all the way down, how the media is literally becoming people's third eye. Like, the light spectrums from these televisions and media and, commercials, and even when we go into these cities and places where it's not a lot of ability for you to connect, especially if you got cell phone towers and wires all over the place. They got a lot of frequencies blocking you from actually connecting. But what if somebody with the actual influence, right? Like, she was good at what she do, who actually represented the truth, got into these areas of the media, of, where people could see, where people could engage. They have a pact with the media system, because the media has also the power to destroy this same system. Even though they're a part of the system, they wouldn't do that because they have the same motives that they do. So, they playing these games with each other, like, but they really on the same team, as you can see. And it was like just amazing to me how that interview came out on the International Day for Women. I don't think I said that right, but on International Women's Day. I thought that was crazy. Like, is this not a coincidence that this interview came out on this day? And this has so much to do with an event that happened decades ago when his mother was murdered. And I'm like, this same cycle was about to happen all over again, and he knew that. And Meghan made it out because Meghan had the son of the divine feminine on her team. She had somebody who, like I said, had those genes, had those genes to be activated inside of him to where he knew that he had to take action and he had to make a move to save his family. Now, I feel like because Meghan had him and because she already was privy to, her own background, like she already had a life before she went into that, I think that is truly what gave her the spiritual strength to get out of that situation. Because before anybody could ever touch you physically, before it could ever get to that point, what they were doing is they were emotionally and mentally and spiritually bullying her. Like, they were getting into her psychosis, making it to where her vibration lowered, or her frequency got so weak to where the physical actuality or the physical manifestation of her being gone from this earth would actually come into fruition. Like, if you listen to what she was saying, she was like, I know that this wasn't me, but I kept having these thoughts that I wanted to leave the earth. Those wasn't your thoughts. Somebody was trying to get you. But they was playing a spiritual game. It's like a spiritual war, for real. And a lot of people don't take that like, oh, seriously, or oh, like that's some serious stuff. But no, that's the worst kind. That's the worst kind, because when somebody is just forthright and physical, you can easily avoid something like that just by being on the up and up spiritually than they are. But if somebody is spiritually getting to you, focusing their energy on you, and supplanting fears inside of you to make you, or make your frequency or vibration weaker, then that's exactly how those type of things happen. So anyway, guys, that is why it is extremely important for people to be more aware and cognitive of the psychic things that goes on, and how basically they were trying to say one thing, but they couldn't say that one thing, because if they said that one thing, like if Meghan was to say, yeah, I feel like they were trying to kill me, or if Harry was to say, I feel like my wife was under attack and someone was trying to kill her, it's much more like they kept saying that they were trying to protect them, like protect, the system that they just came out of, but at the same time, that makes, little sense to me, because why would you try to protect something that obviously doesn't have your best interest in mind, and obviously wants to hurt you and sabotage your well-being, and is obviously not conducive to the betterment of whatever country, I'm saying whatever country, but the betterment of their country. Like, the whole thing needs to get shut down. But of course, they wanted as little drama as possible, and they wanted things to be easy and cordial. So overall, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this situation. I just really wanted to highlight how, to read between the lines of what people are saying when they're explaining things, and how to be aware of the subtle things at play. Like, there was a lot of code going on where he was like, yeah, I just don't want the same thing to happen twice. And, Meghan was like, I just wanted myself back. I wanted to feel like I was in power, you know. All of that is code, like, for to let you guys know what was spiritually and psychically going on in that, in their country, in their kingdom. I keep wanting to call it a kingdom, but you know. So overall, I believe that Meghan had that same juice that Princess Diana had. And I also believe that her son is also a starseed. I do believe that the bloodline that they came out of was intercepted by starseeds, and I think that they have a very unique mission here, as we all do. But just being able to watch it, and you know, for those people who are like so stuck on the race part, y'all really need to be aware of how they're using this race card. Like, come on, Oprah. What? Skin color? Like, come on, Oprah. Anyway, she's questionable anyway, so I'm not going to spend too much time on her. But the race card is just getting pulled like crazy, you know, nowadays. And I think it's just a tool to blind people as to what's really going on. And that's why I talk about like race and bloodlines and spiritual lineage on this channel, because it's not about race. It's not about race at all. And the sooner people can stop being so triggered by the race thing, and the sooner people can really start to accept that there's a bigger, grander scheme to all of this. We're not the only beings in this realm, in this universe. There's like so much more that you will never be privy to, or never really get the juice of by staying tuned into social media. And like I said, the people that these alien reptilian weirdos have a pact with to make sure that certain information is the highlight of people's lives, and other information is hidden, distorted, construed. You know, we want the truth. It's 2021, and people deserve to know the truth. People deserve to be told the truth. And if you are walking around still ignorant, it's literally because that's what you want for yourself, and that's completely okay. Because we all have our own path and our own mission here. However, you know, for those who know their mission and have been called to elevate into a certain consciousness, then yeah, you should probably subscribe to my channel, because that's my theme over here. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like and subscribe and comment if you have anything you want to say or add, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.